Talking Nerdcore, Talking Nerdcore today. We're talking Nerdcore, Talking Nerdcore our way. We're talking Nerdcore, Talking Nerdcore today. We're talking Nerdcore, Talking Nerdcore our way.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's the animeoveranalyst here, and welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdcore. Today I'm going to be talking about why the Promised Neverland makes me sad. I don't have a guest today, it's just going to be me, myself, and I, because scheduling has been a huge problem recently due to me working terrible hours in the theater. If you want to know more, just check out my Twitter and my YouTube. I've been posting stuff in the community section, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, in this episode, if you're listening to this, it's just going to be like all my other previous episodes. However, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice that I am playing Dead by Daylight, because I figured, why not just do some gaming while talking about anime? It's something that I've been kind of wanting to do, and so we're gonna do that. And yeah, let's just jump right on into it. I know it was kind of an awkward intro because I'm tired and intros are not my thing. Anyways, so The Promised Neverland makes me sad because season 2, no shock there. Everyone who has read the manga knows that season 2 is even a bigger dumpster fire than people who haven't read the manga. All I gotta say is read the manga. In fact, this episode is just gonna be me talking about what the anime should have done with the manga. So if you're not caught up with Promised Neverland, if you don't know anything about Promised Neverland, this is not gonna be the episode for you, because I'm not gonna summarize the plot of Promised Neverland. That's a huge task, and it's kind of boring for me to do that. Instead, I'm going to rage. I'm going to literally bitch about it, because that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, we're going to jump off with, what the fuck happened with Yugo? Literally, what the fuck happened with Yugo? Yugo was like my favorite character in the manga. For those of you who may be kind of hazy with Yugo, Yugo's the crazy guy that Emma and Ray and the rest of the gang find in the bunker. And there's this really cool shot where Emma and Ray open this door, and there's just this dude. He's just laying on top of a table. He's got like this chipped tea sets and these stale looking crackers, and he's like, yo. Like, it seemed like he was expecting them, and B, he was just kind of like, what the fuck? And there, he legitimately pulled a gun on Emma and threatened to shoot her. And she just stared him straight in the eyes and is like, I dare you. You don't have the balls to shoot me. And this is one of my biggest issues with the season 2 of Promised Neverland. They made Emma such a dumbass and a non-character. Whereas here's a perfect example of Emma just being a straight-up badass, where she's like, I bet you can't shoot me. Do it. I dare you. Like, she just astounds me. And keep in mind, she's like 12 years old at this time. And so they took out Yugo, one of my favorite characters. And at first I was like, okay, so maybe they'll just include him later on, you know? Maybe they're changing some things up, okay. But they may introduce him later on, and let's say that they just accidentally run into Goldie Pond, because that's Yugo's arc, Goldie Pond arc. And sad to say, that didn't happen at all. They completely, for some reason, was like, nah, we're not going to do that arc at all. And that makes me so incredibly sad, because the Goldie Pond arc is one of my favorite arcs in all of anime manga history. It is such an interesting arc. I love learning about, like, the the history of the demons and just their kind of like political power, and you get to also learn about the history of the humans and all the stuff that they had to go through in order to get to this point. It's a very fascinating arc, and it gets completely shafted. I don't understand why. I really don't. It was like, oh yeah, you know how you everybody and their brother loves this arc? Yeah, we're not gonna have it. It makes no sense to me at all, because we get to learn so much about Emma and Ray and the world in general. We get to learn about Hugo and Lucas. We get to meet one of my favorite other side characters, and this is just like side character in Gillian. She's the girl that like pulls up two Uzis and straight up smites to the demons. Like, it's crazy. And this entire arc, the stakes seem so incredibly high because all the demons are basically hunting the humans for sport, for fun. And they eliminate that. They eliminate the reason to care for this arc, for the demons, or in general. It's so sad. And so I really wish that they went ahead and did that arc. It generally like upsets me that they straight up skipped it. There was that whole like the water is golden part. Like, they could have done that. Could have been so cool to animate. That would have been so beautiful. And instead they're like, nah, you know what? We're not going to have golden water at all. We're not going to have that whole elevator, shtick. Nah, no need. Screw it. Fuck the fan base. Who cares what they think? So, as you can tell, I'm really salty about that decision. It makes no sense. It really, like, I'm trying to think, why would they do that? Like, I have a hard time saying it was because of money, because I don't think it was because of money. I don't think so at all. I think that was a golden opportunity to make some really good money, and because the manga had like 3 solid seasons left in it, honestly. Like, the Goldie Pond I saw was like an entire season all unto itself, and they straight up decided to not include it at all. I just don't get it. So, what I also kind of wish was that they continued on. Oh, come on! I wish that they ended up animating the whole fight against the Capitol. That Capitol fight is so incredibly epic because like, legitimately, Norman, who became such a badass, such a Chad, was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to convince a whole demon faction to betray the other demons and straight up murder the Capitol. And if they die, then, that's going to happen. That's fine. Like, and they just didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. They ended that the entire season. They were like, you know what would be great? What would make so much money? What would make everybody happy? A slideshow. That's what that ending was. Was just a glorified slideshow. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me, and it's so stupid. It like bothers me legitimately. Because it was uncalled for. There was no reason to end the anime and be like, so yeah, that cool epic battle where Norman's buddies go and just destroy the queen. No, we're not gonna have that. And that's another thing. that the Promised Neverland is that like no anime that I know of does, which is they gave side characters like that such an incredible role. You know, such an incredible fight, and it's like they got shafted because of that. They're like they missed out on an opportunity to have some beautiful animation and to like straight up do some really cool things, and instead they were like, you know what, we're not going to do that at all. I don't get it. And so I don't know. Like, if you guys can give me a solid reason in the comment section down below, I openly accept that. You know, please tell me what I'm thinking is wrong, because I can't think of any good reason for them to decide, you know what? Screw the manga. Let's just do whatever we want. And don't give me that whole BS with like, oh yeah, the mangaka had charts of it. If that was the case, that the mangaka was like, you know what, I think this is a great idea, then shame on her. I think it's actually a she. I think it's a female that wrote the manga, because there's absolutely no reason to for that manga to have ended that way. Oh, that was bad. So I don't know. Tell me in the comments down below. What do you guys think? You know, these episodes are going to be short, and I'm doing these live on Twitch. So, you know, be sure to follow me on Twitch, where I'll do more of these types of episodes where I'd love to come up with like topics and just, you know, talk about them, because that's, you know, stuff that I'm passionate about. And you know, if this is something that you want me to do more of, or you're like, you know what, just stop it, I completely accept that as well. But I really do like just, you know, sitting here gaming, talking about, you know, life. And so, yeah, I guess that's gonna actually end this episode of Talking Nerdcore. Like, it's super short, but it's basically what's just been on my mind, and I feel like there's no other way to either simplify it or change it up. You know, the show had a lot of potential, and it decided to be like, no, we're gonna screw all that potential. We're gonna screw with all of your emotions. You know, there are so much that we could have done, and instead they're like, you know what, we don't need to do any of that stuff. You know, like, why would they do that? I'm so confused about it. Oh, I'm carrying too. So, like, part of me just wants to just sit here and complain even more. Like, I just don't know what else to complain about. Like, that entire season was just such a train wreck. And honestly, like, the biggest issue for me was the fact that they got rid of Goldipon, which had so much potential in it. You know, the world building was so cool. And instead what they were like was like, no, we're not going to do world building. We're not going to do any of that stuff because reasons. And yeah. Yeah. Like, even the time skip. Like, this was an issue that I had with the manga, which was that the time skip felt a little weird to me. Like, they they had potential to do some interesting world building. They had like introduced this kind of society, and instead, what they did was they're like, "Oh yeah, here's this thing, and now it's done." Like, what? What happens to the whole like religious site, that ritual site? I know they talked about it a little bit, but they could have gone so much more in depth, and that was like an opportunity for the anime to even shine more, and it just straight up did it. It just glossed over that. Like, why? Like that's really just kind of what I'm boiling down to. I feel like is like I'm constantly asking myself, why? It just makes no sense to me. Why the corporation is like, oh, you know what would save us money? Not doing an anime, not doing anything that is supposed to happen. That like it legitimately makes no sense. Uh. Oh, the dude disconnected. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much. I know it's short and y'all want more, but maybe I'll do like a couple of these kind of shorter ones, intermittent. Please tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you like these short ones, or do you want me to try to talk for like an hour straight about a topic? The hour straight ones will probably end up me being more sitting talking in front of a camera, unfortunately, because I'm having a hard time focusing on just gaming and stuff, as you could probably hear in the audio version. But that's enough of me going off on tangents. Thank you all so much. I'm the Anime Overanalyst, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.